Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be swatching the PUR Cosmetics and Raw Beauty Christi eyeshadow palette. I spent 10 hours trying to get this palette, and after 10 hours, I finally got it. So I decided, since I got it in the mail today, I want to do swatches. And now, since this palette is gorgeous, I'm going to swatch both sides. I'm going to start with the bright side and then show swatches of the neutral side, and then I will talk about both of them. So if you guys want to see swatches of this gorgeous palette, just keep watching. Okay, so now you guys have seen swatches of this beautiful palette. Let's talk about it. First off, to actually dive into all the issues, it took me 10 hours to get this palette. I literally was on half an hour before launch and the website was crap. The website was crap all day. PUR was very unorganized, and I think it's kind of disgusting how horribly they planned this out. They did a horrible job, and honestly, if it wasn't for Christi, I wouldn't buy from them. You know what I mean? Like, I literally bought this palette and I probably won't really purchase from them again after that whole kerfuffle. That was bad. That's the worst it's ever been. And ColourPop has had some pretty bad launches, but that was literally by far the worst. It got to the point where, like, they didn't have a queue, then they had a queue, And then it was just the biggest mess ever. It was not fun. But after 10 hours, I got the palette. I was in line. I think I was like 6,182. That was my number in line. And then it was like, I think 10:30 p.m. or something like that, maybe 9 p.m. my time, and I got the palette. I accidentally ordered two because their website was messed up, but they refunded me for one, so I only got one in the mail, which I'm completely fine with. I only wanted one to begin with. But all that drama aside, I'm going to talk about the palette in its, you know, beautiful nature here. I do want to talk about the designs. I will show some close-ups, but she did the artwork on the palette and the packaging, and honestly, it's just beautiful. Y'all know I love cats. I have 4, so the cat artwork is honestly my favorite. I would love more than anything for Kristi to draw my cat Luna, who passed away. That would be absolutely gorgeous. But honestly, the artwork is just really beautiful, and I do appreciate that it's on both sides of the palette. That being said, y'all know I'm gonna get most use out of the bright palette, so let's talk about that first. So the bright side of the palette comes with 9 shades. Basically, you have like the brights that you need. It's not like a typical rainbow palette. It has different tones in it. If you haven't watched her video, like talking completely about her palette, I would highly recommend it if you do want the palette, because her video just kind of goes into detail, every little thing. I was pleasantly surprised with how this palette swatched. Now, that being said,
we all know, and I really need to reiterate this in every video because some people are new, so they may get up my butt about stuff.
Swatches do not dictate how these will apply on the eye, but I like doing swatches for you guys. You guys like seeing swatches, so I was like, hey, why not? That being said, I had no issue swatching this palette at all. The one shimmer shade on this side is this beautiful, like in the pan, it looks definitely more of a pink champagne, but on the arm, it's definitely more of like a glittery topper, which I'm happy about, but it does have enough like pizzazz to it that I'm like, why am I using all these old terms today? That I really do like it. Oh, my pain is so bad right now, I apologize. The shade Side Effect is actually my favorite. It's this super bright, like neon pink, and it swatched actually really well. That was 2 swatches. Obviously, towards the end, I kind of didn't do a great job, but it is bright. Like, I can't even show you guys how bright it is. It's even brighter in person. I can't wait to smother that all over my lid. I definitely do like the color combinations. I think you can have like a lot of looks from these colors, and then obviously if you like to wear neutrals with a pop of color, then you got all that as well. The bright side of the palette like obviously speaks to me more. I definitely will get more use out of the bright side. It's honestly really pretty. I've never tried PUR's formula before, so I'm actually really interested to see how it compares to all the other palettes, but regardless, it's worth it to me because I got to support one of my favorite YouTubers, so that's always fun. Plus, I think she deserves it, especially now that she has a baby on the way. I think that's so cool. Alright, so now let's talk about the neutral side of the palette. It's beautiful, but, you know, I like bright shades, so this is, like, boring for me. This definitely kind of threw me off of wanting to buy the palette, because I just don't need, like, natural shadows. I don't really use them ever, and I have enough natural palettes that if I want to do a natural look, I can. But I gotta say, this is the type of color story that I would want in, like, a natural palette. Like, I love the mustardy shade. I don't know why my camera, it's my phone, goes between warm and cool so much. It annoys me. Sorry about that. The shade Camelot is this gorgeous like mustard. It is so, so beautiful. I forgot to mention that on the bright side of palette, the yellow shade swatched a little bit better than normal yellows. Most yellows are pretty horrible at swatching. If you guys saw my Morphe palette, the Maddie Ziegler palette or whatever, the yellow in that was horrid. This yellow was a bit better. It was bright and it only took like 2.5 layers, I'd say, and it swatched pretty well, so I think it'll apply okay. But this mustard is just, oh, I love mustard yellows like that. Those are the type of neutrals, well, you know, neutrals, naturals, whatever, that I would wear. And that coral, oh yeah, those slay me. I don't care about the shimmer at all. It's just like a gold shimmer, but I do see it going with all the different shades in here, so I understand why she put it in here. This is just kind of like the boring side in my opinion, but I think that this really makes the palette versatile for so many different people, because you have a natural side and then you have all the super duper brights, which is, you know, my favorite part of the love. That made no sense, my god. Yeah, all that being said, it's swatched pretty nice. As you guys can see, the like pale flesh tone color didn't show up much because it blends into my skin, which is great for me because I'll use it to brighten up the inner corner and stuff a bit. But I don't know. My favorites on the natural shade are definitely like the mustard yellow, the coral, and then like the top two browns. I love those like really, really warm tone browns. And I do like the dark tone brown as well. I kind of like all of them, but this just isn't the side of the palette that I'm gonna reach for often. And again, I am highly disappointed in this launch, but it was not Kristi's fault. She was the one tweeting everyone and replying and trying to figure things out, while PUR, I don't know what PUR was thinking, not realizing that they were doing a collab with a YouTuber and people would want her palette. Like, I don't know. I've just never had an experience this horrible, and it honestly turned me off the brand entirely. I almost gave up a few times getting this palette because I was just like, this is insane. Why am I sitting here for 4 hours? And I did give up for a tiny bit before they started the queue. Then I was like, you know what, let me check, maybe it's better. And they had started the queue, and I was like, fuck, pardon my French. And it was like, okay, well, now I have to be in line, and I was 6,000th in line. That was, it was a mess. I was very much not impressed with that whole process, and honestly probably won't use PUR again unless they come out with something really amazing. But as for this collaboration, it swatched beautifully, both the bright and the light side. It swatched beautifully, and I think that the palette is beautifully made. Again, personally, I prefer the bright side. I definitely think these are bright shadows that were formulated beautifully. I don't see any issues with swatches. Again, you know, that doesn't dictate how they'll apply on the eyes, but from what I've seen, it's pretty freaking gorgeous. And I definitely like that you can flip between brights and neutrals for those of you who, you know, just want a pop of color and aren't like me where I'm like, color is my life. You know, that one Vine where that kid's like, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life. Like, that's how I feel about bright eyeshadows. But honestly, I can definitely, like, if you guys see, like, I can definitely see the neutrals playing well with the brights. Thank you guys so much for watching this swatch video. If you enjoyed, subscribe. Comment down below any videos you'd like to see me do. Go follow my Instagram, Makeup by Tasha XO, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.